All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, well, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The question of the day is the yearly high in for Bitcoin. That's the question in the poll. And it seems like most of you guys say yes. Most of you guys say yes. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to my man, J-Boy Bullish. Guys, if we can get 1,000 likes in the first half hour of this stream, we'll be giving away 1,000 USDT. Alright? That's pretty dang cool. Shout out to Tiago Cardoso. Can we get 100 likes before the stream starts, Casper Crew? We already got 100 likes in the chat, baby. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Let me see a blue candle, Casper Crew. What up? Shout out to Chewy. Who dis? Shout out to Lion Slappy. I will take a red, green, or blue horrible action for the last 30 hours. Wake the Sheeple. My friend sent you a message on Discord. He wants to join the crew. Tell him to go to the website, man. Shout out to Wake the Sheeple. Shout out to Crypto Shaped. Shout out to Suicidal Trader. Take a huge loan, short 100x, easy life, easy suicide. That does sound pretty risky, my friend. Shout out to Jungle 3 East. He says, I don't know if you'll see this, but I am beyond grateful for the knowledge you've given me in the last year. It has impacted my life in all aspects. Words cannot express my gratitude. God bless you, Jungle 3 East. Shout out to Nathan Ward. Shout out to Stray Dog 6. Shout out to Merc Wahlberg. Pamp the likes. Yeah, guys, can we get 1,000 likes in the first half hour so that we can give away 1,000 USDT? You know, that way I don't have to keep buying things like Dark Shield. Shout out to Metamusic 007. Shout out to Infanti. Yearly high is not in. Shout out to Crypto Ric Flair. He says, woo! Shout out to Crypto Explosion. No, Crypto Sion. Cryptosian. What's going on, Jason? My spot bids are being front run, so no top is in yet. Shout out to Jeremiah Redden. He says, nice hat. Shout out to Bakir. He's doing the polka dance. Polka dot is pamping. Yeah, some of the altcoins are doing pretty well. Why so much cardio, Jason? Well, the reason I do so much cardio is for many reasons. But I guess the primary reason is health, mental energy, physical energy. Also, eating as much food as I want and also having a six-pack without having to try is amazing. When normally I'd just be sitting at a computer, I'm actually just getting exercise. Shout out to Just Some Dude. He says, yo, yo, yo. Guys, I am still long on the S&P 500, as you can see. I've taken a lot of profits out of this trade. I've still got a little bit left. We are coming up to some targets. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin price here, guys. This is the Bitcoin chart. All right, Bitcoin. Man, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we'll get into some of these alts as well. Would you look at this, guys? Would you look at this? Okay, we are still schlong on Bitcoin, right? We are short from the high. We are long from one of these lows. All right. Shout out to the Casper crew. We've been given the trade setups. All right. These juicy longs. Currently trading this plan that I have had since, well, I guess last week, right? Where we wanted to come down to around that $36,000-ish area, 35.7-ish, get a bounce from that 786, take the highs at 38.2, and then get a move back down to the low of the range with bearish divergences. Okay, and of course the short trade is an idea that we've had here for a while as well. Spicier than a box of jalapeno peppers. All right, those things are hot. You guys ever ate jalapenos? It's like a spicy thing that you might eat, like, you know, at a Mexican restaurant or something like that. Now, Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a move to the upside right now. We're going to be getting into the price action here. So let's jump right in to this juicy price action. So Bitcoin is giving us a few warning signs here, I have to say. Bitcoin is giving us a few warning signs. Now, first of all, let's just paint a little picture, a little context here, okay? We are in a very strong uptrend, guys. This is bullish market structure. We have been making higher highs and higher lows for the last year. So, right now, there's nothing necessarily weak about this chart. This is the daily time frame. Now, I would say this. When we reach these areas, like right here, right here, right here, and currently right here, we start to print some warning signs telling us that a pullback is coming. What is the warning sign? Bearish divergences. On the 4-hour time frame specifically, we are seeing the money flow and the momentum waves getting lower as we are consolidating within this range, okay? We saw it back here in February and the month of March, all right? We saw it over here in April. We saw it over here in July, and we're seeing it again right now in Noviembre, which is Spanish for November. And speaking of Spanish, I'm going to tell you guys something that's tres importante, which is also Spanish for 3 important things. When we go to the weekly time frame, all right, we can see that during this last uptrend, there have been 3 times that Market Cipher B printed a red dot. Once right here, once right here, and once right here. Every time we printed that weekly red dot in conjunction with the 4-hour Market Cipher B divergence, it has led to a pullback in the uptrend. All right, a pullback giving us a higher low in the uptrend. And as you can see, we have about 3 days and 5 hours left until this weekly candle closes. And it looks to me that within the next week or two, we could very easily print ourselves a red dot, which in my opinion could give us a move down of approximately 20%. The reason I say 20% is because when we look at these pullbacks here, this was 21%. The second one right here was also 21%. And then the third one on ByBit was about 25%, but on all other exchanges, about 21%. So, you know, if we're gonna go with this trend here, it would make sense that, yeah, we could get a 20% pullback. Now, in addition to that, when we take a look at the 4-hour time frame, right, we are seeing the money flow come out, the weekly about to print the red dot, the upside down sandbagman free pattern is in full effect, the man boobs flopping around, the red pepperoni nipples getting lower as the price is getting higher. We can clearly see it. I mean, honestly, you'd have to be blind not to see it, and it's a little bit creepy now because every time I look at the chart, all I see is Sam Bankman-Fried. Look at that. Money flow and momentum waves getting lower. And so as we are watching this happen, we're also seeing something on the actual price action here, which is we are forming a rising wedge pattern, which we were looking at yesterday. But yeah, what's happening is we're squeezing up, we're making slightly higher highs, and we're making higher lows in this squeezing wedge pattern. Now, this is a bearish pattern, guys, right? This is a bearish pattern, and they usually break to the downside. And, you know, we could draw this a few different ways. We could draw it like this, right? Connecting the exact highs and lows together. Something like this. If we're going to draw it like that, where's our target? Well, you could take the pattern from the high to the low, just kind of extrapolate this target to the downside here. And basically, guys, it's taking us down to the bottom of this range, which, honestly, we've been saying this entire time could very easily happen because we've been building liquidity up under these lows, right? So we know we could very easily get stop losses triggered, like boom, 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 come back down to these lows. And once we come back down to these lows, we also know that, well, this daily candle right here, there's pretty much no support here, right? There's pretty much nothing, not a zilch, zip. All right, so we could very easily then come back down to the last support resistance flip that we had here at these last highs. And what do you know? By golly, George and Sally put me on a tractor, feed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If we take our measuring tool from the high to the low, that's about 20%. Wow, so all things kind of are pointing to a pullback coming quite soon, all right? Now, it could happen at any time, we don't really know, but for me, right now, it's been a little bit difficult to trade because as we're seeing the bearish things play out, we're still, objectively speaking, in bullish market structure, okay? As we are trading within this wedge pattern here, if we just pull the volume, we can see that the Bitcoin price right now is not even able to gain acceptance below the value area high of this range, which is telling us that for right now, the market wants to trade Bitcoin at higher prices, right? That's telling me we could even expect another move to the upside right now, in line with this kind of trend line, right? We might go for this thing again. Now, is there a chance we don't get a pullback? Yes, there's a chance we don't get a pullback, right? That's why I'm not closing out my long trades. I'm in multiple Bitcoin longs here. I am still holding the long trade from the low that we put in over here, right? Still holding it, not closing it, haven't closed it. Plan to hold it even a little bit longer in case we get another move to the upside, right? Also still holding the long trade from earlier in the week. Which is right over here as well. Right? So I'm not closing these trades, guys, but here's the thing. All right? Here's the thing that we need to also keep in mind. Just above us right now, we do have an interesting area of resistance, right? Go to the weekly time frame and we go ahead and pull the fib from the high to the low, from the high to the low. And if we go ahead and put this on log scale, you can see that we are coming up right to the macro 618 Fibonacci, right around 39K, right? So we are, if we do get another push to the upside, we could very, very easily find resistance at this level, then get our pullback, and then I would say, if we get that pullback, we could be looking toward that $50,000 Bitcoin, all right? This, I think, is a probable scenario to play out, right? If we take a look at all the volume that's traded here, we can see that the high volume node of the range is coming up pretty nicely with those fib levels. If we turn it off log scale and we put it back on regular scale, we can see, yeah, the Fibonacci golden pocket is lining up quite nicely with the point of control of this entire macro range going all the way back to the bear market and the bull market. And if this relief rally is going to continue, we can see Bitcoin come up toward this key zone of around $50,000. So this would be really, really nice, okay? That's another, from where we're at right now, that's another 25% move to the upside. We've seen these rallies, okay? We got a 56% move to the upside back in January, epic times. Then we got another 50% move to the upside. Just now, we have gotten about a 50% move to the upside. If we come to the top of the range, after coming down to our support resistance flip, that's going to be an 80% move to the upside. If we come to the point of control, that's going to be about a 53% move to the upside if we retrace down to around 30K. So if we're just taking the pattern that we have here, that we've seen throughout the last year, of about a 50% move to the upside, a 20% pullback with a red dot on market Cipher B, 50% pump, 20% pullback, red dot on market Cipher B, 50% pump, 20% pullback, we're just seeing the same exact thing play out once again. All right, once again. And so, personally for me, that's what I'm kind of hoping for, because I do think it will present a really nice opportunity for us to potentially make, another 50% gain. And if we come to the top of the range, this would literally be the swing trade of the year, right? If 2023, if we get a Santa Claus rally, that's an 86% gain that we could potentially get on that move. Now, of course, when we look at the weekly market Cipher B, this is actually, to me, looking a little bit bullish right now, because the VWAP, the yellow oscillator on Market Cipher B, does have this curve here. Let me put on the area here. All right. See how it has this curve like this coming inward, like a ramp, kind of like a scoop like this. This scoop shape here is kind of a bullish pattern because it's showing that the VWAP might not want to cross over just yet. We might play a game of red dot, green dot, something like this, right? But even less extreme than that, right? We might more so play a game of red dot, green dot, maybe something like what we've seen in the past, where, you know, we don't really see a big move to the downside. We actually just see continuation. But I say the probabilities are more so that we get a pullback at some point. But that is something to keep in mind. And in 3 days, when this candle closes, we will know. So we have just come up once again, made another high here at the top of the range. We're seeing clear bearish divergences on Market Cipher B. If this week starts to close and we start to change the structure in the sense that we're taking out these lows, breaking that bearish wedge pattern, right? Then I'd say the probabilities are that we are going to see more downside, and also we are going to see that red dot print on the weekly time frame. And also, although I do believe we could see a very fast drop here, we could see a very fast drop. When we go back and look at the previous drops, usually they're slow and painful, right? We did have a nice little capitulation right here, but usually they're slow and painful, where, you know, this 20% move to the downside here, it took us almost a month, right? It took us almost an entire month. So we could just see a month here of bearishness. If it takes us a month, that's putting us in basically the end of December. That's right at the end of December, which is usually the least volatile time of the year because no one's trading, you know. Maybe people are buying. It could be bullish. We've seen the Santa rallies before. Last year we didn't really see it. But if we're going to get that 20% move down, might be something painful like this, boom, capitulation, and then we could start the new year off kind of bullish. Let's kind of wait and see. Let's wait and see how it goes. But that's kind of what we're looking at here on the 4-hour. When we go to the daily time frame, once again, money flow very thick, money flow very bullish. Bearish divergences are definitely printing here, guys. All right, so I'd say it looks to me pullback is needed, and then we can go to Pump City. All right, pullback, Pump City. The two P's of prosperity. Pullback and Pump City. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I know we got a small crowd today because I don't usually stream this late. So the offer still stands, guys. If we can get 1,000 likes within the next 12 minutes, we will give away 1,000 USDT. So, all right, win Lambo. Whenever you want to take out a loan, my friend, that's when. Yeah, we got the half pipe pattern on the VWAP. We got the half pipe pattern. Shout out to Lane Hughes, 16K Bitcoin. Now, look, here's the thing. Could we get a $16,000 Bitcoin? Of course. In fact, I would say that when we go back and we look at what is happening, what has happened, like in the past, when it comes to the yearly opens, right? Let's go to Coinbase and let's just take a look at yearly opens. All right, let's look at yearly opens. A lot of times, guys, Bitcoin comes back to test the yearly open. Let's take a look at the 2017 yearly open, right? Bitcoin pumped up, came back down to retest that yearly open. 2018 yearly open was right here. Bitcoin got a big dump. This was the bear market. We came back up to test that yearly open perfectly. All right, isn't that interesting? And next yearly open we have, that was the 2018 yearly open. The 2019 yearly open, right down here. All right, now we didn't come back down to retest it, but we came pretty dang close. And what's so interesting about that, guys, is the fact that this, right here, this was the you-know-what dump, right? It was, what was it? It was one of those fairy tales, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, and that other thing that people told stories about and believed in. So when that happened, right, we came down here, we just front ran it. Very, very interesting. What else is interesting about this is this was the bear market rally. All right, this was the bear market rally right here, basically, right? Because this was the all-time high, the end of the bull market. This is the bottom of the bear market. Then we ended up Bitcoin getting a juicy 328% move to the upside in the bear market before the halving. The halving didn't happen until right around here, if I'm not mistaken, right? So look at that crazy double bottom we put back in before the actual bull market began. All right. Very interesting about these yearly opens. The 2020 yearly open happened right around, let's see, March, January, 2019, January, right here. Yeah, we absolutely came back to test that. 2021 yearly open. Check out the 2021 yearly open, guys. Very, very key level. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, right? This is the 2021 yearly open. It was literally to the dollar, our support, when we had that first major correction in January 2021. If everyone was asking, is the bull market over? Well, I'm sorry, in the summer of 2021, was the bull market over? It kind of was over. But yeah, look at how these yearly opens are being respected, right? So we right now have ourselves another yearly open down here, January 2023, at around $16,500. Now, what else is interesting about this yearly open is it's the point of control of the entire bear market, right? Most of the volume traded right around that yearly open here. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So really, I mean, in reality, like, if we do want to retest our base and say that, yes, the majority of the market, they want Bitcoin at higher prices, this would be an amazing place to retest. An amazing support resistance flip, the yearly open. Maybe we don't come down there. Maybe we front run. But you could easily see how if we start to come back inside of this range, we could come back down to the low of the range, right? We shouldn't say it's never going to happen, because look at what happened back here, right? Bear market rally, came back testing that base, and you know what? Let's check. Let's actually look at the volume that traded back here. Hang on. Wow. Look at that. So the point of control down here is where we just came down and front ran. So we front ran the POC and the yearly open, and here we have a very, very similar situation. So look, I'm not saying this is going to happen, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I'm just looking at patterns here, right? We're looking at patterns, how things have been repeating, the cycles repeat, patterns repeat. We've seen the patterns play out during this uptrend, repeating and all that kind of stuff, you know? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to 420 Bud Monster. What's going on, my man? Shout out to Lane Hughes. He's been bearish for a long time. Win ETF. I don't know. Shout out to Optimo Supremo. Hit the likes. Guys, we have 6 minutes. If we get 1,000 likes in 6 minutes, we'll give away $1,000. We might be able to do it. I think we could do it. We have about 1,000 people in the chat. So Non-Exist says that's not going to happen because that was that fairy tale thing that people believed in, like Santa Claus and all that. Well, you know, look. I know this sounds crazy, and I know people are reluctant to believe this, but you'll patterns repeat, and somehow technicals and fundamentals work together. All right, the way reality works is far more intricate than we can understand. All right, and you see weird patterns repeat, and you see black swan events happen at just the right time. when the charts are looking a certain way, right? I can't explain it, but it's true. So if there was ever a time where a black swan event could happen, it's right around now. We're heading into an election year, okay? So you know how crazy things are going to start to get. We've got, you know, wars, rumors of wars going on everywhere. Crazy things could happen. You know what I'm saying? The good old military-industrial complex might need to rally the old patriotic American spirit. We might see something crazy happen. Who knows what could go on? Maybe somewhere else, maybe over here. You know? Who knows? But look, we can't say it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Can't say it's not going to happen. All right, 37,400 for the biz outs, baby, says Daniel Davis. All right. Divine says, I know a guy that thinks charts can predict black swans. Look, I think they can predict black swans in a lot of ways. All right? I do think they can predict black swans in a lot of ways. I mean, the most recent and my favorite example of this, guys, is going back to right here. All right? Right here. What happened here? November 5th, 2022. What happened there? Does anyone remember? We came up to the Fibonacci golden pocket from one of these highs. Okay, Fibonacci golden pocket. We turn on market Cipher B, and what do we see? Literally the most bearish pattern you could possibly print in the world. Okay, the most bearish. The money flow on the 4 hour is crossing from the blue into the purple as we hit the golden pocket. The momentum waves are getting lower. Okay. Clearly, it's the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man breast pattern. Okay, this is where the man breast pattern got its origins, right here. Okay, it's from this exact event. Now, this is a Friday, November 4th. On that following Tuesday, the news about FTX came out, which led to the drop. Okay. Now, why in the world did the charts literally print a signal which, if I see a signal like this, I short and I hold? All right? I don't lock in profits and move my stop loss to the entry when I see this. No. I short and I hold. And then literally 4 days later, the news comes out. 4 days later. Bam. Stuff like this happens all the time. It's crazy. So, you know, also the infamous Elon Musk tweets that pumped and dumped Bitcoin. Man, I made a video about how I shorted Bitcoin before he tweeted from the exact high. Everyone's like, Elon Musk just dumped Bitcoin. It's like, well, the Casper crew was already short, baby. Because that's what the chart said. So it's a very strange phenomenon here. It's a very strange phenomenon. I can't explain it, but it is what it is. Alright, we got 2 minutes. If everyone likes the video right now, in the next 2 minutes, we'll give away 1,000 USDT. Shout out to Frogers. He says hi 3 times. Frogers. What's the market cipher? It's an indicator. CryptoFace created it. Monthly candle close looks good. What do we think about the monthly? Let's take a look at the monthly, actually. That's a good thing to look at since we only have a few more hours. Yeah, I have to say, that monthly candle looks good. This monthly candle does not look bearish. We have 3 hours until the monthly close. This monthly candle does not look bearish. I will say that, guys. It does not. So, let's take a look at some of these previous highs. Okay, so we did get the dump in February, March. So look, we've had the 20% pullbacks. When we look at the monthly, we've had 3 20% pullbacks in this area. One of those 20% pullbacks, we didn't even get a purple monthly candle, right? One of those pullbacks, the one that happened here in March, we got a very, very, very bullish March close, right? So again, if let's say we close a bullish November and December opens up purple candle to retest the base and then closes up, that would be, we might not even see a purple candle and we could still get a 20% pullback here to retest the base. So monthly does look strong. And again, this is clearly an uptrend here. We've been in an uptrend. I've been publicly bullish since we closed the January candle, guys. And I got a lot of hate for it too on the YouTube comments. Because people are like, Jason, how could you make people long Bitcoin by saying you're bullish? How could you enter into their exchange and click the long button for them by saying you're bullish, you stupid shill? You're just shorting and you want everyone else to long so you can manipulate the price and make money, you stupid influencer. Right? I got a lot of hate like that. Well, look, we've been bullish since then. The reason I was bullish in January is because we put in a new high, right? We had the previous high or low. I'm sorry, we had the previous low or high in the downtrend, right? We put our high, our low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low. Boom, higher high, monthly close. Bam, from January on, I was bullish. And that's the market structure that we've got right now. So until we start to put a lower low on the monthly, man, I am going to be bullish. And honestly, I won't really start to get bearish unless we close the candle below 25K, because that will be a lower low on the monthly, which we have not done, right? That's why for me, it's so important that we stay now above this range high, right? It's so important that we don't come back inside this value area. This area has been tested now twice. All right, it was our support before we lost it back in May 2022. It was our support once. It was our support twice. If we lose this now, guys, I say I'm bearish. I'm bearish and I expect more downside. I would look to short and an opportunity to take it back down toward the yearly open, toward that point of control, looking for a big pullback to test the base before the halving, before the meteoric euphoric bull run, right? And then I have a list of friends from high school, and when they text me asking if they should buy Bitcoin, I have it linked to my account and will sell my spot Bitcoin, right? So I've got a list of about 5 friends from high school. I never talk to them except when they're thinking about buying crypto at the top of the bull market. Their numbers, when they text my phone, it sets up to automatically sell my spot Bitcoin. Shout out to Brock Landers for the super chat. Thank you so much, bro. God bless you. Jay, don't you think the S&P is showing some bear signs? Yeah, I do, man. I do think the S&P is showing some bear signs. So let's take a look at the S&P. Now, look, I'm still long, but I've taken the majority of the trade out. Just have a little bit left. The reason I'm still holding it is because I do think it's possible for us not only to take this local high at 46.02, but take the January 2022 high. All right, man, this was an epic, juicy long trade setup that we gave in the Casper crew, man. Shout out to the Casper crew, because you guys are crushing the charts. I see a lot of you guys scalping the 5 second, right? I know a lot of us took this juicy long. This was a hard trade to get into. But I know a lot of people took the short. I know a lot of y'all who are trading SPX on BitGet took this juicy long trade as well. And yeah, let's take a look. I'm gonna chart the ES because I like those signals better. Or I like those signals better on the ES as opposed to the S&P 500. Shout out to my man J-Boy Bullish for the super chat. He gave me $6.66. Bro, are you you don't worship the devil, do you, man? Got a little Revelation 13 action going on. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna look at the ES. So I do think that there is, we absolutely did see, and you could make a case, and I would agree with you. I would agree with the fact that this right here was a top signal on the weekly, because we got a divergence with the money flow and the momentum waves. Absolutely, absolutely. And this right here could simply just be a double top, a retest coming up. Let's see, actually, did we come up to, we're up around that 786 fib, right? So I could totally see and understand why somebody would look at this and say, okay, we put in a divergence in 2022, January, the beginning of the year. We got to move down. We tested our old base. We basically took out all this liquidity, these really ugly looking lows, right to the support resistance flip where we got our bounce. We came back up, rejected from the 786, all right, which is now a lower high, and we printed now another trigger wave, a hidden bearish divergence with continued money flow coming out, and now it looks like we're about to print another bearish trigger wave right here, right? I totally get that, and it's totally possible. The reason why I want higher on this is because, and look, I'm wearing bull glasses, guys. I'm in a long here. I just think it would be, I feel like how are we not going to take this high, right? Did we take that already? Dang, we did take it. We took it. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. Maybe the high is in, guys. We took that high. Dang, wow, I didn't even realize that. I thought we front ran that. Well, I'm wrong. Let's check out the index. Let's check out the index. Did the index take that high? No, the index didn't take that high. The index didn't take that high, right? And if we're gonna take this high, why not go for the all-time high? And why not get the most epic, juicy short trade ever? Like the most epic, massive double top, bearish divergence. This is like the top of Bitcoin signal where we come up here and we see a continued bearish divergence like this locally, as well as across all of this. Can you imagine, like from 2022 to 2024, a 2-year bearish div on the weekly? To me, that's just super juicy. I want it so bad because of how juicy it is. I'm a little bit biased for saying we could come a little higher here. Now, let's go back to the ES chart, ES mini futures. Right now, I would say that locally here, yeah, we do have some signs of weakness, right? We do see some signs of weakness on the weekly, but when we go to the daily, all right, when we go to the daily, I would say that this is a pretty nice looking low so far, right? It's a pretty nice looking low because we had ourselves a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we've made a higher high. So we do have this local change of structure. We do have the money flow coming higher on the daily. And so for me now, I'm looking toward that golden pocket, that 618, that 0.65 area where we have our support resistance flip, right? Because this is basically this green box here that I've got on the chart. This is that last area where basically in the downtrend, this was our last lower low before we actually got the final low. And so it's also the Fibonacci golden pocket, right? So I would not be surprised if we do get a pullback and come down to either this zone right here, right? Because this is a support resistance flip. We could see clearly that this is going to be a level. Come down here or come down for a deeper retrace into the golden pocket for another move up. If we come down to the golden pocket, look at just how nice it would look, right? It would look, what would it look like? It would look like an inverse head and shoulders, right? It would look like an inverse head and shoulders. And where would our breakout target be for the inverse head and shoulders? right around here, which is a new high. Right? So yeah, that would be pretty epic, right? That would be pretty epic. So that's why I'm still holding the long. I am looking to compound the long, which I guess you can't do on BingX. I guess I'd be looking to open up a new long, which basically the same thing, because now I got two longs with the same amount of position. But yeah, if we come back to those areas of support, I would be looking. But yes, I could definitely see the case to be made for this being bearish. And look, if you're short from here, I think there's a pretty good case to be made that we're going to get a pullback, because we are seeing the same thing that on this thing that we're seeing on Bitcoin, right? We're seeing the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man move pattern on the 4-hour. We had this very bullish break, the support resistance level, right? I'm sorry, very bullish break. And just like Bitcoin, everyone who's long here needs to get punished. You know, everyone who's long, they need to get punished. And then we have this big inefficiency that could very easily get filled. Bam. So yeah, if you're short here, I totally get that. And look, I've closed the majority of my long trade. Okay, like literally, I've only got right now $13,000 left on the trade. Okay, I started this thing out with like $250,000, so I have the majority of the trade closed. And yeah, I'm going to be looking to add as we get this retest here. I haven't opened up a short. I haven't really had the only short opportunity, I guess, for me would have been, and I didn't take it, but the short opportunity for me, I guess, I don't really see a clear short opportunity here. Maybe just taking that high one more time and then losing the level could have given us a nice CDW short trade entry here. This could have been actually a nice short, having closed the daily candle below that level. You know, if this is your trading style, for me that's a little bit too much of a stop loss, but this is not a bad trade setup here. If you were more aggressive with your entry, you could have said as soon as we lose the level, this is a 6-to-1. Yeah, that's not a bad setup there. I just didn't. I wasn't ready and planning for a short here, so I didn't take one. Long story short, I was long and I didn't take it. You know, long story short. So. What about the dollar? Shout out to Evan Boucher, Dark Shield, baby. All right. Yeah, let's take a look at the dollar here. The good old DXY. Pumping, baby. Wow. Dollar pumping. Okay, so here's the thing. I see the dollar is pumping. Wow. Okay, so the dollar did hit the golden pocket, guys. Yeah. You know what? This does put a little monkey wrench in my bullish bias, doesn't it? Because I was thinking Bitcoin and the S&P would top out when the dollar hit the golden pocket. Now here's the thing often we'll see with the dollar. It usually comes back down to retest the golden pocket, spends a little time below, and then gets the bounce. So we might not have seen the bottom yet, but we do have a very convincing bullish divergence, uneven butt cheek pattern on the daily time frame. Actually, we do have a this is actually quite convincing here. This is quite convincing, I do have to say. And that is a very bullish daily candle. With a daily candle like that, I'm surprised we haven't seen more downside with the S&P and all that, right? Let's pull this trend line here on the dollar. You know what, guys? Hear me out, all right? Maybe old Uncle Jay has lost his way, all right? Or whatever they say. But we do have this trend line, resistance, resistance, resistance. We did flip it to support before the breakout, but it would give us a really nice confluence if we came back down just to test the trend line again, right here. at the 786. All right, but yeah, this is a convincing bull div here. I do have to say, it is a convincing bull div. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Feeling kind of fly. The DXY is looking a little sly. You know, it might pump. Might pump. If it does pump, expect bearishness for the risk assets like the corn and the S&P. Right? I was looking for this to be the top for Bitcoin and the SPX. So here we are. So according to my previous analysis, the top is in. But I would say, and we've seen it many a time on the dollar, that she does like to hang around that golden pocket, you know, a little bit more. A little bit more. Let's go to like the 4 hour. Let's take a look at some previous golden pocket action here on the dollar. Wow, we front ran her there. Man, now I'm not gonna find an instance. That's how it works, you know. If you're not a YouTuber, you don't understand how it is when you're live and you can't find or think of something, you know. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the fish. Can we do no bar spotting? What do you mean no bar spotting? You mean like just buying random coins like we did yesterday? Will I stream tomorrow for the Powell speech? I can't. I didn't even know there was a Powell speech, unfortunately, Vince 120. I was unaware. All right, Bitcoin pumping. Let's take a look at the order flow real quick here, guys. So, you know, look at this, right? We had a pretty bearish CBD divergence here this morning, led to the downside. And we've got now even more bearish CBD as we come up into the VWAP here. So we've just seen bearish CBD kind of happening all day. Volume, nothing to write home about, really. You know, it's been one of those days, a rangy day, a rangy, slow day. And speaking of that, guys, I've got to pee, like always, during YouTube streams. Because, you know, I always drink a lot of water when I know I'm going to be on the treadmill. So I'll be right back, guys. Shout out to Dome Life. Bitcoin to the dome, baby. All right, we're back in action, baby. Is Bitcoin going to get a little pump for Power Hour? We can get a Power Hour pump. I call it a pop. Power Hour pump, baby. All right. Yeah, shout out to Dome Life, my man. TAP. All right. Yellow Petrie. Shout out to Crypto Rich Rick. He says, be quiet with a facepalm. All right. Mike McCarthy's soul has been doing great for me. I'm glad I didn't listen to my friends and scoop some up. Shout out to Mike McCarthy making the gains on Soul, bro. Make sure to take some dang profit if you're in profit. Big Jim's Wiener Dogs. I was not touching myself, bro, okay? I know how to pee free. I pee like this. All right? I do crunches while I'm peeing. You know, it flexes the abs, flexes the bladder, pushes the pee out faster. Flex the abs, flex the bladder, makes the pee push out faster. Shout out to Travel Tim is about to buy a mini treadmill desk. Bro, I recommend the treadmill so much. Man, it's a dang game changer. Yeah, we could check Solana. Yeah, hands-free P. Can you schlong on MEXC? Yes, you can. You can schlong on MEXC. You could open up a short. I could open up a short right now, inverse perpetual. 38.031 looks kind of doable. Yeah. Yeah, so for Bitcoin right now, for me, here's how I'm looking at this, all right? Obviously, I'm short, right? I'm obviously short, and I obviously have taken profits, locked them in, all right? Because I could see us coming higher very easily, but here is how I am viewing this before we look at Solana. If this was a real high, there is the case to be made that we have put in our higher high, our higher low, our higher high, our lower high, lower low. You could say we're changing structure here. If that's the case, then pulling the fib from the high to the low and getting the volume profile of this mini range here gives us the target of around 38.1 to 38.3 to say if the high is in and we're really going to come down from here, a retrace up to the value area high of the range, golden pocket 786 is the logical place to look for a short down yonder. All right, that's just the logical place to look. So for me, I'm interested in that zone, but I'm also interested in the levels we talked about at the beginning of the stream, 39K, for the reason that it's the macro fib on log scale. All right, let's take a look at Solana. All right, Sol is pumping, baby. Sol has come up into the Fibonacci Golden Pocket retest here, which is a make-believe one. We hit the 618 to the dollar here. I'm not interested in shorting Sol. Not yet. I did short Sol from this level. I'm out of the trade. The reason I shorted Sol from that level, the Casper Crew level, is because I was waiting for it and I was ready for it, and I shorted it with very little confirmation because I was very confident in my analysis that that level was going to give us a rejection. All right? Just because of how many other coins gave a rejection from that May 2022 daily order block. Pretty much every other coin that came back to test that May 2022 order block got a rejection from that level. So I said, I might as well go for it. If I'm using good risk management, I only have to lose a small predetermined amount of capital, but I know the probabilities are that we will get a move from here. But now, we have not changed market structure on Solana for me to say, this looks like a good high. This does not look like a good high. This does not look like the high. All right? Let's refresh. The reason why this doesn't look like a good high is because we have no sign of weakness here. We have not even taken out the low that we made before we put in that high. There's no sign of weakness here. None, right? You could say maybe very locally, but I'm looking at the daily time frame. And in addition to that, right, we are seeing now a big bottom, a hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour, and money flow starting to tick back up. So I would say this does not look very bearish. I am actually now more expecting and looking for another high around that $75 zone, that next key level, because if we hit that, it will allow Bitcoin to hit some of our bullish targets. Also, we could see these bearish divergences really start to play out even more. Again, I'm only interested in shorting Sol if we take this low. And I am looking to long Sol from around 48.50 to take it up to either this resistance here to look for a short, or a new high at around $75. So my plans on SOL have not really changed because this local price action, although I'm sure if you guys are day trading SOL, you've made some really juicy gains, and shout out to y'all. But I'm not day trading SOL. So for me, the only levels I care about is 51.54. Are we going to take that low? If we take that low, in my opinion, really nice long opportunity. Also, once we take this low, it opens up the door for more downside. So once we get that long opportunity, then we can look for a short, either from a lower high or come up for the higher high. But even right now, we haven't taken that low. That's fine. If we come up for a higher high, we can still be doing it with more bearish divs. Then I could look for a short. But the only long opportunity that you could have taken here was this one from this local golden pocket. And if you did, good on ya. Good on ya. Good on ya. Good on ya for taking it, me laddie. Good on ya for taking it with the hidden 4-hour bullish divergence. Good on ya. Alright, but I didn't take it. So that was a long opportunity there. Golden pocket, hidden div. And I'll bet you we had regular divs on the low time frames there. Let's see. Yeah, we did. A really nice bottom there on the lower time frame. So good on ya. Can we take a look at Matic? Yeah, I agree, Divine Hood. I should get into day trading the alts. I should have during all this ranging time, but I didn't, so bad on me. You know, good on ya and bad on me. All right, shout out to K-Swat K, took it. A lot of you guys took it. Crypto, Cavion started futures trading 2 weeks ago, did great for a week. Now my trades get stopped out. Well, that's how it works, my friend. The market's like a drug dealer. When you get started trading, you're gonna triple your account in 5 minutes. You're gonna think, man, this is easy as heck. And then you're slowly going to lose everything you have until you're sitting there on the bathroom floor with a sock on your head with a long beard looking like a 12-year-old Amish kid, acne all over your face. And you realize, you know what? It's going to take me more than a dang week to really learn how to do this. And then that will start your real journey of becoming a profitable, consistent trader. And it'll require determination and grit, hard work, study, self-control. Patience, discipline. But you'll get it, my friend. You'll get it. There's tons of liquidity above 38K. Says happy days. I know, right? I agree with you. And there's key levels above there that I think we could really come up to. Yeah, see, people can confirm this is true. You know? People can confirm. All right, Bitcoin pumping. I mean, you know, I'm joking. Bitcoin's not really doing a dang thing today. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. Guys, I'm going to head out. It's been a good stream. It's been an hour stream. It's been a late stream. I do pray everyone watching is blessed in Jesus' name. I know not everyone's religious. I know a lot of people think I'm not either. But, well, I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I do value my relationship with God more than anything else in my life. And so may the Lord bless you. May He protect you. May He shine light upon you. May He have grace upon you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you wholeness in Jesus' name. And I'll see y'all in the next stream. Peace.